Hi, Dr. Alex here, and welcome to yet another video where I'm reviving a piece of e-waste in a rather action retro-y style endeavor. Again, you've already seen this because I unboxed both of these in two unboxing videos. You've seen the ThinkCentres monitor, which I didn't know was a monitor when I got it, but I did after I'd unboxed it and had a look at it. And you saw me unbox the M93 Tiny just recently, the last video I did. So I then quickly took it apart to have a look at what I actually had, and this is now done entirely through still photos as far as you're concerned. So I quickly got into the guts of it. It was much easier to open than the old M73 ThinkCentres, M73Z ThinkCentres that I killed. And once in there, I could see that it wasn't quite as described. In fact, it was in many ways better than described. The listing on eBay had said that it didn't have a hard drive, a CPU. I think it did say it had the 4 gigs of memory that it had inside it. But other than that, I did not expect to see a spinny hard drive in there, but that was there. Obviously, I quickly whipped it out. I could see that then there was indeed 4 gigs of RAM in it. Suffice to say, I was already planning on replacing the spinny hard drive with the nice SSD hard drive that came with the old, now dead, M73Z, and that's exactly what I did. But first of all, I also stuck in the 8 gigabytes of RAM that came with the M73Z, so it now has 12 gig of RAM inside it. Also, I completely failed to see, with the hard drive out, that it was missing anything connected to the M-SATA slot, which was designed, in this case, for the Wi-Fi card. So one thing it hadn't come with was Wi-Fi, and it took me a while to figure that one out. It also had a CPU, which is supposed to not have a CPU. Now, I decided to take a chance on this and use the CPU that I'd put into the M73Z when I killed it, hoping, with fingers crossed, that it wasn't the CPU itself that had killed it or itself was damaged and dead. Spoilers, it wasn't. So the really nice CPU I'd originally intended to upgrade the M73Z with then became the CPU of this M93. So I put everything back together, and this next bit was recorded just in case it worked, but I didn't have it all set up for a video in the normal way that I do. So the video on this is just straight from the camera that I use, and the audio, well, that makes sense, but the audio is not through the microphone like I normally do it. So there's slightly worse audio on this, but this was just my surprised reaction when I first tried to turn the thing on. Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned that the M93 fits into the ThinkCentres monitor thing like a glove. It was designed for it, as said in the list of things it was compatible with it was. But I was just surprised at how easily and how well it all went together. And also I was surprised by, well, this bit where when I pressed the on button, what happened, because I wasn't expecting success.
Okay, there will be crap sound on this part of the video if you can pick it up at all, because this is not part of the main video. This is done before, but it's the first time I'm trying to turn this on. I took loads of stills, which you'll be able to see when I'm talking about it in the video, no doubt. But yeah, I don't know if this is going to turn on or not. Let's find out. Oh yeah, it's not plugged in. What is plugged in? Oh, that's plugged in. So, oh, there it is. Try again. Oh, there's a light on the front of it now. Oh. What is it doing? Oh, shit. Oh my god. It wants to boot up. Oh my god. Okay, probably one of the least action retro things I've ever done. It's working. Ah! La la. Let's get out of your eye line for a second. That is unexpectedly successful. Alright, so let's just call this part of the video quits for here, because this is not the main test part of the video, but we have a working desktop again. Yay!
Anyway, that was nearly the end of me faffing around with it, except I then realized I couldn't get Wi-Fi. And I took it apart again and realized why I couldn't get Wi-Fi, because there was no Wi-Fi card. My intention was to take the very nice Wi-Fi card that was in the M93Z that I killed out, but the screw retaining it was so tightly screwed down, I just could not get the screw out. However, luckily, if you want to put it that way, I have many defunct dead ThinkPads up in the loft, most of them with a Wi-Fi card stuffed in. So I got a hold of a T520 that I had used for parts at some point, and had many things missing, but one thing it did have was the Wi-Fi card. So I put that Wi-Fi card in, and that now works. Spoilers, well, I guess you've seen from the video, you know the thing works. But now it's ready for me to do some testing. So let's turn this thing on, and hopefully it'll come up, and we'll do some of those... we'll look at some of the... We'll look at some of the specifications for this, because it is better than the one that died, and it does have better graphics than any of my laptops. But what I'm really interested to see is whether the CPU will now outperform my daily driver T430, because that would be the nice thing, that if it was able to do that now. Given the CPU is now, trying to do this from memory, the CPU is now, I think the CPU is a 47 or 4920. I'll double check that and flash it up on the screen, because I can't remember right now. But the CPU is a quad core. It was almost the fastest you could get for it. There were a couple that were faster, but the price jump was ridiculous. Whereas this thing is basically just as fast as the fastest one, near enough, but was about 30, 40, 50 pounds cheaper. So I can't remember exactly how much this cost. Again, I'll flash this on the screen as well, but it cost not very much for this CPU, and we'll see if it performs as well as I'm hoping. Anyway, let's boot this thing on now with the proper video setup running, so you can see what it does, hopefully. My hand and me will come into shot briefly. Perhaps, depending on how I edit it. Oh, here it comes. It is indeed coming on. And yep, same hard drive that I had on the M73Z. Didn't have to do anything with it. It has Windows 10 installed, and it has Mint 18, which is what it's going to go into now. I haven't had time to change the timer on this thing, so it's going in as slowly as normal. Whee! It's in AIO, all-in-one mode. That's the monitor telling me what it's doing, which is kind of cute. So there it is in all its glory. Look at that beautiful screen. By accident rather than design, I didn't intend to kill the original. I have something with a better monitor than the last ThinkCentre, the M73Z had. So let me quickly log in. Avert your eyes. Yay! Oh, it's found the network, just about. It has found the network and connected to it. Okay, cool. Haven't even got the my aerial extension fully out yet. Anyway, there it is, beautifully done. Let's have a quick look at hard info, which is where we can do the tests anyway, so I can see what's going on. So here's hard info up on screen again. Quickly show the summary. That's kind of useful. Yes, of course it's useful, because now I can tell you what the bloody CPU is for certain. So the CPU is a quad-core. It is quad-core, isn't it? Yeah, quad-core, 8 threads, although it does say processor 8 times, but no, I'm pretty sure it is just 8 threads quad core. It's an i7 4790 CPU. That was it, yeah. 4790. There were a couple of slightly higher spec ones that were, as I say, like jump in price was ridiculous. This was relatively cheap. I'll put the price up on screen because I've forgotten it, but it wasn't very expensive. Let's put it that way. As you can see, it's got 12 gig of memory because it's got the 8 plus the 4 gig SODIMM slapped in there. Look at the display resolution. It is 1920 by 1080. So unlike all my nice ThinkPads, which have the 1600 by 900 display, this has got a better display. So that's kind of what I wanted, I guess. It was nice to have anyway. I mean, don't really need it, but it's nice to have. So now let's go down and do the various CPU tests, because that I have definitely not done. So I still have the figures from the T430 written down, so I can just look directly at them for comparison. So let's try CPU Blowfish on this new ThinkCentres. I used to say ThinkCentres because the monitor and the M93 are themselves separate entities, really, although they're now fused into one, as that last picture I showed where they fitted together shows you. Anyway, I ramble and digress. Let's try that first CPU Blowfish and see what happens. Boing. So this machine gets 1.92, whereas my T430 gets 1.72. So the T430 is still fractionally faster than even the M93, which is not what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting my T430 to win on anything at this point, but, well, there you go. It's marginally quicker, the T430, than this M93. Let's try CPU CryptoHash. Aha! CPU CryptoHash, the M93 does win out. The T430 was 708 megabits per second, whereas this is getting 777 megabits per second. I mean, it's faster. Not as big as I thought, but yeah, it's definitely faster. So far, so good. It's winning 1 out of 2 so far. Let's do the next one. The CPU Fibonacci. So the T430 got 1.48 seconds, whereas the M93 is getting 1.26 seconds, and lower is better. So again, the desktop, the M93, is winning out over my T430. Not by an embarrassing margin, but it is definitely better than the laptops now. Finally. Let's try the next one, which is CPU N Queens. Okay, CPU N Queens, I can see that again, the M93 wins out just over the T430. The T430 was getting 0.53 seconds, whereas the M93 is getting 0.49 seconds. Lower is better. So again, it's not a huge difference, but the desktop is winning just. Next is FPU FFT, which is where the superiority in graphics normally shines through. So we've got FPU FFT and FPU ray tracing. Let's just see how the first one does. FPU FFT. Oh, okay. The T430 got 0.89 seconds, whereas this, the M93, is getting 0.68 seconds. So again, it is measurably, noticeably faster. Not embarrassingly faster for the T430. The T430 is still doing remarkably well so far, but this machine is now definitely quicker in most measures than the T430, which is, I guess, good to see. It's nice to have a desktop that can just about outperform a laptop. Let's try the final one. FPU ray tracing. Again, it's minimal. The T430 was getting 2.98 seconds, whereas the M93 is getting 2.91 seconds. Lower is better, but it is not much better. It's marginally better. So apart from the first one, where I think the T430 won out, every other test, the M93 has done better, but not embarrassingly better than the T430. But it's not a bad machine, clearly. It's doing a very good job, and it is better than my daily driver laptop, and then presumably, since that's got the fastest processor of all my laptops bar one, I imagine it's probably faster than all my laptops, but not as much as I thought it would be. But yeah, there you go. It's doing well. The T430 is doing well. That's all I really need to do with this. There's not much else to do, except I am enjoying having this desktop with its significantly larger monitor than anything else I've got. 24-inch, so 2 foot across, corner to corner. Yeah, it's good. And until the next video, whatever that may be, even Nala hasn't bust into this one. No cats on this, I'm afraid. So whatever the next one is, with or without cat, I hope you'll join me for that. And until then, to all my watchers, subscribers and viewers, take care.
Masters, mistresses, the Doctor requires materials in order to maintain the TARDIS and ensure continued functionality. He similarly requires carbon-based comestibles to sustain his own biological functions and existence. Master would never say this, but he requires aid beyond that supplied by this unit in order to acquire these. To aid the Doctor in his various tasks and creations, this can be most effectively achieved via Patreon or Substack subscriptions, or through donations directly to PayPal. Or if you desire physical goods in return for your contributions, written accounts of my travels with the Doctor are also available on Amazon. Links are in the description below. Thank you, masters, mistresses.